Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Kyle. I make reactions to movies and TV shows. So, today we are heading into Hannibal, Season 1, Episode 6, and I honestly have no idea what I'm in for. So far, there hasn't been a very cohesive plot throughout the series, other than Hannibal and Will interacting with each other, but there wasn't a whole lot of that in the last episode, so hopefully we get that. I would like to see some development of the Will and Hannibal relationship and what that means. Are they enemies? Are they co-workers? What is Hannibal's intentions? I kind of need Hannibal to do something evil again, because the actor that plays him is very, very charming. And even though I realize, like, after episode 3 that Hannibal is a monster, it's wearing off just a little bit. So I need him to do something like, you know, will we get more Jack? I really like Jack. I really do. No offense to Will, but I think that maybe Jack and Hannibal are my favorites. And, you know, I could say something about daddy issues, but well, okay. So anyways, let's get to this episode, see what's going on. Like if you would like to like. Full version will be in the description at some point. And I haven't been saying this because, like, you don't get much from it, but I do have a Patreon. If you want to help support the channel, keep in mind that you don't actually get anything. It's just a way to say thank you if you would like to say thank you. Okay? That's all out of the way. Let's get to eating people.
I don't know how much longer I can be all that useful to you, Jack.
Really? The last 3 we had, you cost.
Oh my god, is Will gonna kill Jack? That would be my luck. Oh.
This is your final opportunity to comply. On your feet, Dr. Gideon, or we will restrain you.
Why is he bloody? Did he do it to himself?
All right, place your fingers behind your head.
Is this like a mental hospital? It doesn't look like a prison. I mean, it looks like a prison, but not like a prison. Most prisons don't have them. He must be pretty scary though, right? If they were afraid to go in the room without him complying, I would think that... Oh, he's gonna kill this poor lady. Oh yeah, oh yeah, I saw the hand. Uh-oh, bye-bye now. Baltimore State Hospital for the Criminally Insane. This must be like a playground for these two.
There's an unconfirmed story floating out there that the Chesapeake Ripper's already in custody.
Fact-checking for Freddie Lounge.
Who's fact-checking for me?
Afraid they won't let me out.
Don't worry, I won't leave you here.
Yeah, not today.
Mr. Graham teaches at the academy.
Ah, a teacher. Please, gentlemen, take a seat.
It's very well dressed, and this is one heck of an office for this kind of place.
Children, we're going to need to see the crime scene while it's still relatively undisturbed.
Why was a nurse left alone with a prisoner in a high-security psychiatric hospital?
Security around him was slightly relaxed.
Well, that was a mistake.
He sat directly across from me, and I had no idea what he was hiding. Oh, yes, that thing you do.
Oh my god, you're infamous.
A conversation in the psychiatric circles, Mr. Graham. A unique cocktail of personality disorders and neuroses that make you a highly skilled profiler. We are woefully short of material on your sort of thing, Mr. Graham.
He concealed a forked tine in the palm of his hand and used it to pick the lock. You'll note the removal of organs and the abdominal mutilations are all consistent.
Listen, I'm not like, I love the architecture. I kind of want, like, you know, except for the bars, this is a really cool place. All right, well, we've seen people have their backs scratched off. What are we gonna, what did he do? Just a simple mutilation?
Reason you failed and kept failing to capture the Chesapeake Ripper?
So yeah, nothing simple about that. Oh. Kind of similar to the episode 1 murder that Hannibal did with the stag. Oh, okay. He's just putting himself in the headspace. Right? Is he okay? Okay, yeah. I was gonna say. No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Don't show it. Don't show it! What the fuck? No! You know, I give this actor a lot of credit. He can balance the very, very, like, vulnerable and the insane very well. You'd never know that they're the same person.
As far as we know, it's been over 2 years since the Chesapeake Ripper kill.
That's correct.
When was Gideon admitted?
Almost 2 years ago.
Oh, we're getting a flashback.
Morning, Agent Crawford.
Sorry to pull you out of class. There's nothing wrong. Your instructors tell me that you are in the top 10%.
Top 5, sir.
I'm assuming that you're familiar with the Chesapeake Ripper.
Yes.
The Ripper's very hot right now.
He has some of the characteristics of what they call a sociopath. He won't have any of the other marks. He won't be a drifter. He'll have no history of trouble with the law.
Did she
I'm
die?
grateful for the opportunity, Agent Crawford.
Is she dead?
But I can't help wondering, why me?
I'm gonna need your full attention on this.
Yes, sir.
I think she's dead. Or something bad happened. Maybe she just quit on really bad terms.
Sometimes I feel like his secretary rather than his keeper.
Any specific correspondences that stood out?
Chesapeake Ripper is methodical, meticulous. That's why he's so hard to catch.
You have talked to Gideon before, for some length of time.
Well, I saw him mainly in court.
He is very familiar with you. He's given you a lot of thought.
You're kind of creepy.
I've read your notes, of course. They were more or less helpful as I conducted my own interviews with Dr. Gideon over the years.
What the heck is happening here? Is this like some kind of weird kind of flirting?
Why, Dr. Bloom. How wonderful to see you again.
Thank you for your time, Dr. Gideon. I won't waste it. Shall we begin?
There's no mystery as to who done it. I did it.
The mystery is whether you are who you say you are.
Is that why you didn't take credit for the Ripper murders before now?
What effect were you hoping to have by killing the night nurse?
Brutalization of the body was done posthumously.
Chesapeake Ripper usually does that sort of thing during.
I do not have to convince you that I am the Chesapeake Ripper.
Certainly what somebody needs.
I have a theory, but I'm not saying it yet. Because this show...
Jack, come in.
I'm going to kick myself if I'm right, but...
I was just,
In the neighborhood. How's Mrs. Crawford?
Yeah, that's why I was in the neighborhood. I can't talk to her. She's working. I doubt I could talk to her if she was here.
I'm prohibited from talking about it, doctor-patient confidentiality. Well, Graham is not officially my patient. We have conversations.
What do you consider this?
Desperate coping.
Oh, wow. Blunt.
You have every right to know what's happening, but not from me. I'll offer one insight. She doesn't think she married the wrong guy.
I look at her side of the bed and I think, is she gonna die there?
Jesus.
You're dreading the loss of your wife.
Anyone would.
Yes. And I'm thinking about other losses too.
Where is everyone?
It's just you and me for the time. Take a look around here.
I would never be able to sleep again if I were in a room like this. Like, no. I mean, this is all props. My brain can process that. If I saw this in real life, I would throw up and never sleep again.
Did while he was alive, struck the throat, so he couldn't call for help. He took the liver, thymus, but left the heart. He's a medical doctor, isn't he? That why you call him the Ripper?
Okay. I'm just gonna say it. I might be very wrong, but I feel like they're inching towards it, so I'm just gonna say it, and maybe I'm very wrong. But is Hannibal the real Chesapeake killer? And this guy is just covering for him? Although I will say these deaths seem remarkably violent. And Hannibal seems really calm and collected. I don't think we've actually seen him kill anyone yet, right? I mean, he did attack Alana, and that was very violent. But I think it was only violent because he needed her to be knocked out. So I'm trying to think. I don't think we've actually seen Hannibal kill anyone. It's just been referenced. I mean, I spent the first 2 episodes wondering he was actually a killer. So maybe the calm demeanor is just like what we see on the surface, and really he's bad. I don't know, because they're talking about this guy now having organs removed, and I'm thinking, well, Hannibal eats people. And Will said earlier, it's like you want us or you need us to think this. Maybe Hannibal had a conversation with this doctor dude in prison, being a psychologist. I don't know. I said it. I could be really wrong, but I'm like, I gotta say this, because if I'm right, I get to be right. Everyone likes being right. Okay.
I'm gonna catch him.
We call you the guru. You have a peculiar cleverness.
I have a particular set of skills.
You should. You'll probably spot him before anybody else.
There's no detectable consistency with the Ripper.
We never found a body for his last known victim.
And then the victim before that. This is plagiarism.
We never made the wound patterns for any of the Ripper's victims public.
If he's a plagiarist, the real Chesapeake Ripper is gonna make sure everybody knows it.
I trust Will. He's got like spidey sense. He might be subconsciously picking up on something that doesn't. Maybe there's like a pattern that they're not seeing.
Jack.
Who is this?
Jack, it's Miriam.
Oh, was she the last victim?
Miriam?
I was so wrong. I was so wrong.
Miriam?
I'm hooked into every carrier database and telephone provider in the United States. Nothing. I can't find any electronic trace of any call made to your home at 2:46 a.m.
Whoever made that call could have made it from that little box outside your house.
It was Miriam.
I haven't heard her voice in 2 years, Jack.
Okay, so she's alive.
Continue to question me on this, Z? If so, maybe I should ask you to leave the room while it's still safe for you to be here. The Chesapeake Ripper recorded Miriam last 2 years ago as he was killing her.
Okay, no, she's dead.
Are you certain it was a recording?
Jack, you're in a deep sleep. You're roused. You're disoriented.
You should run. You should
I
run
know
now.
when I'm awake.
Ooh, is it clicking? Is he figuring out what was different? Something about the eyes? Oh, no. Oh! Will apparently doesn't know when he's awake.
You look like you were dreaming.
I was thinking about something else.
We have a direct way of communicating with the Chesapeake Ripper, and we'd like to see if we can push him.
You might push the Ripper to kill again, just to prove he isn't in a hospital for the criminally insane.
You yourself know it's the best way to bait the real Chesapeake Ripper.
Thank you for inviting me.
Miss Lowndes, I believe you know Will Graham?
I don't think he's going to shake your hand. I wouldn't shake your hand. Not after what you wrote about him.
You have intelligence, guts, a good eye.
Criminal justice journalism being a euphemism for tabloid reporting.
An exclusive story would be a coup.
She's going to want tit for tat.
And you would get the satisfaction of seeing the Los Angeles Times run copyrighted material under your byline.
Tried to get an interview with Dr. Gideon. I was denied. Is he the Chesapeake Ripper, or do you just want me to tell everybody that he is? He could be.
Do you know what profession psychopaths disproportionately gravitate to? Number 5 on the list is surgeons.
You know, take out the bars, put in a nice little couch with some throw pillows. I could call this home.
Dr. Gideon. I'm Freddie Lowndes. May I call you Dr. Gideon? Maybe, just maybe, Gideon is the most sought-after serial killer at large, none other than the Chesapeake Ripper. This would explain why the Ripper has been silent for more than 2 years.
It is him! Oh, it is him! Oh my god, he is the Chesapeake. Okay.
So are you enjoying reading my mail?
No.
So I wonder if they're going to figure out the connection, because like the only way he could know this stuff would be is if Hannibal came to visit him, although Hannibal would have a decent reason to visit him.
Then why the surgical trophies? You didn't take any trophies when you murdered your wife and her family on Thanksgiving.
You know how stressful the holidays can get.
What am I here to talk about?
trainee.
You're telling me you killed Miriam Lass?
Yes.
Don't react, Jack.
I know where you are. I know how you got here. I read your file. Why didn't you put her on display?
What makes you think I didn't?
Jack isn't falling for it anymore. I think he's completely checked out. I want to know why he's doing it. Clearly Hannibal didn't put him up to it, because Hannibal seems to be getting upset.
Bella, something wrong?
Jack, it's Miriam. I don't know where I am. Jack, I don't want to die like this.
And now, Jack, I mean, if there was any doubt, he now knows that it's not him.
In my house. In my bedroom.
The Ripper put his head on your wife's pillow.
And now somebody's sleeping in my bed.
Was Miriam Lass a blonde?
Yes.
She's dead. She wasn't here.
Someone wants you to believe she's alive.
Did Miriam Lass know where you lived? She could have told the Chesapeake Ripper before he killed her. Whoever made that call thinks you were close to Miriam Lass. You were responsible for her death.
That's because he talked to Hannibal about it.
You were a model patient. You behaved yourself for 2 years. You could have been pushed.
Why are they...
Well, that would be unethical. Oh, I trust you, Dr. Bloom.
So, I mean, Jack must have told her by now that he knows that he's not the right person.
Dr. Gideon is going to provide us with a singular opportunity to analyze a pure sociopath.
Oh, Hannibal is playing host again. Tongue?
Served with a sauce of duxelle and oyster mushrooms. It was a particularly chatty lamb. Don't give me ideas. Your tongue is very feisty. And as this evening has already proven it.
Gideon is the Chesapeake Ripper. Or he
We know
just
this.
thinks he is, or he knows he isn't.
Did you discuss the Chesapeake Ripper's crimes with Dr. Gideon?
But I began to suspect what he was.
Is it possible you inadvertently planted the suggestion in Gideon's mind that he was the Ripper? No, I said inadvertently.
Psychic driving is unethical.
But reasonable in certain circumstances. It may have been useful trying to remind Gideon he's the Chesapeake Ripper. But he seems to have come to that awareness all by himself. Were I in your position, I would have attempted psychic driving. Perhaps you already have. I'm much more forgiving of the unorthodox than Dr. Bloom.
Jack, it's Miriam.
The last call was made to Jack's cell from a disposable phone. If the Ripper was a surgeon, she thought he might have treated one of his victims. She made a jump somewhere they couldn't explain. You make those jumps.
Okay. So I'm thinking, based on that conversation at dinner. So Hannibal might not actually be connected to this. In the sense, I mean, I do think he's the Chesapeake Ripper, but he might not have been the one to divulge that to the doctor dude in the insane asylum. I'm thinking what happened is Hannibal is the Chesapeake Ripper. The head honcho dude drove the doctor dude in the insane asylum to think he is the Chesapeake Ripper. So that makes much more sense, because I was kind of thinking in my head, well, if this guy knows that he's not the Chesapeake Ripper and he talked to Hannibal, who is the real Chesapeake Ripper, why would he not tell them that Hannibal is the real Chesapeake Ripper? But I don't think he actually knows that. I think, okay, it's all starting to make sense. I still kind of want to see Hannibal lose it, though.
Like any of the Ripper victims has been thoroughly vetted or currently under observation.
Dr. Gideon wasn't in my bedroom. Chesapeake Ripper was.
Well, he's clearly not in there. Another victim? Who? Oh, I wonder if it's going to be the young FBI agent's, like, decrepit body. Oh, okay. Well, it was a part. It was a part of her body. Are we ending on a mystery?
The Ripper wanted to cloud my vision with hope.
It can sometimes be brave to allow yourself hope. Don't give up hope for your wife. Not yet. She's lost hope, which means you can't.
Hannibal would be such a weird friend to have.
I'm sorry about your wife, Jack. I truly am. And I'm sorry about your trainee. What was her name?
My name is Miriam Lass. I'm with the FBI. I would show you my credentials, but I'm actually just a trainee.
Please, come in. I did keep detailed journals during those days. If you like, I can get them for you. If you wait here, I'll be right back.
Oh, she's gonna snoop. That's why they were talking about warrants and stuff. She'd go snoop, she'd go find something, he'd go kill her. Oh, or she'll just find it. At least make it fast. That's like 5 seconds. That wasn't enough to strangle her. She must have just passed out. All right, all right. All right. Oh, I can take these out now. So that was my reaction to season 1, episode 6 of Hannibal, and I have some thoughts. So the first thing is that episode took me through a lot of twists and turns. I've said it many times now, but this show is definitely one where it changes subtly, so you don't know that something has changed. And also, I think that this episode very much defied convention, because right away when Dr. Gideon, I kept calling him the hospital dude, right away when Dr. Gideon killed the nurse, I just immediately assumed that he had escaped. It took me until, I want to say, like 5 minutes later, or not 5 minutes later, but what was it? I distinctly remember it's like, oh, I thought he was no longer in the hospital. When Will and Alana were talking with the, I don't know, the creepy head dude. So I was like, oh, okay, he's still there. He didn't escape. So I definitely think that they subverted the plot there. And then it took me a while to kind of figure out that he was this, or claiming to be this Chesapeake Ripper dude. Because it's just, they say things without actually saying things. So sometimes I'll be like 5 minutes after a scene and it's like, oh, this is what they were saying. And I didn't get it. My brain took that long to catch up. Hannibal is confirmed the Chesapeake Ripper. It's a very interesting revelation, if you could call it that. Because we know, like I said, Hannibal is incredibly calm, very collected, always in control of his emotions and what he's feeling. But the Ripper's murders seemed very, very violent. So I would love to know what's going on there. Clearly, Hannibal has some kind of rage issue. Probably means that, I mean, if they stick with the psychology aspect that they have been through the entire show, I would imagine that it means that something happened to him as a kid that he was unable to process. So he just repressed it over and over and over again until it came out in a more violent way. And then that's how he learned to process. I don't know. That would be like my guess. But like I said, the show really defies convention. That might not be it at all. I also wanted to say that I really liked how they kind of, at least in my mind, played on a very typical psychopath serial killer trope, but they did it in an interesting way. So we all, if you've ever watched like Criminal Minds or Law and Order, or like, the serial killers like to revisit their crime scenes, or they like to get involved. They want to relive what they did, right? But they can't really relive it, so they end up doing it again. In this sense, Hannibal was actually reliving his old murder through Jack, through this investigation. And Jack was reliving the investigation through this trainee. I thought that was a very cool thing that they did. So you got Hannibal reliving his own investigation, but we're seeing it through the eyes of another character who Hannibal is goading into reliving this investigation, which is so Hannibal. I know we're only 6 episodes in, but it's so him that he would not directly relive the investigation, but instead he would force someone else to, so that he could watch them relive it. He clearly has a sadistic streak to him too. These kills, like, he's not just killing because he wants to eat people. That's clearly not the situation. And like, the murders were not only brutal, but they said that Hannibal keeps these people alive while he kills them. And on top of that, doing what he did to Jack, like, Hannibal could have chosen to just kill someone else, you know, come out of hiding, provide a fresh body, but instead he wanted to toy with Jack and, you know, screw with his emotions and hurt him. And it's a very sadistic thing to do, right? There are layers to Hannibal. He is definitely the most interesting character of this entire series. Will was once again kind of a side character. I thought from the first episode that we saw that Will was going to be like the main focus of this show, but we've had several episodes now where Hannibal is actually the main focus of the show, or Hannibal and Jack are kind of sharing the spotlight. Will tends to provide kind of like exposition to why the killers are doing what he's doing, but I'm sure I can also see that they are setting Will up for something. This episode does kind of make me rethink my theory that Hannibal is setting Will up to become a killer. Obviously, they're not going to let go of this situation, right? Like, now they know that the Chesapeake killer is still out there, still active. I don't see Jack letting go of it very soon. So it almost makes me wonder if Hannibal is going to get Will to kill in order to direct attention away from the Chesapeake killer case at some point. This is a good episode. Lots to think about. Anyways, like if you would like to like. Full version is in the description. You can help support the channel on Patreon if you would like. And I will talk to you guys next time. Don't eat people.